Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I am going to attempt a mixed media project. I'm ridiculously excited about this project even though I've never done anything like this before and I don't know what I'm doing, but in my head it's amazing. So we'll see what happens. So I'm going to alter this piece of wood. This was a bit of broken wood or wood that we had in the garden, and ironically I have been asking my husband to get rid of this wood that was in the garden. I've been nagging him forever, and we were having a garden party at the weekend for my daughter, so I was like, you need to get rid of that, I need it all cleared. And then in the evening I was browsing Pinterest, you know, like we do, and saw this gorgeous piece of artwork that was done on a rough bit of wood, and I was like, oh wow, that's amazing, I love it. And then suddenly I was like, do you know that nice wood that you've got in the garden? Could you mind breaking it up into pieces like this for me, and could I have it? So I went from, you need to take a trip to the skip, to hoarding all this wood. Now I'm just going to prime it. For this bit here, I'm going to use two different types of gesso. I'm using clear gesso because I really like that wood, and we will lose some of it with paint. That's kind of inevitable. But at the same time, I want to be able to maybe see a little bit of the wood when I've finished. So I am going to just give that a bit of clear gesso, because obviously we need to prime it so that we can work with it. So that is Winsor & Newton Artist Acrylic Clear Gesso, and I've got the Indigo Blue Gesso Good, because it's the gesso that I have in, and I'm going to put that on here. Now I'm particularly in love with this. He broke a few bits off for me, and I'm going to put a little bit here just so that we've got a difference of, adds interest once it's done if we're working on different surfaces. Yeah, I like this one because there was loads of here, so there's absolutely hundreds of texture, and I've got a little knot in the wood down here. So it'll be a bit different. As I said, I can't take credit for the idea because I saw it on Pinterest. I saw somebody had created these beautiful works of art on scraps of wood, so I had to give it a go. Now I have an idea in my head of things I would quite like to do to this piece, but who knows. I tend to be a sort of crafter that I never have a plan, I never work from a sketch, anything like that. I go with the flow. If I have too much of a plan, it never seems to go well. I'm just going to put that up the side while I'm doing it to seal it, then I'll maybe give it a bit of paper to sit on whilst that dries. So I'm just going to pop away for however long that takes to dry, grab my products that I need for the next stage, and I will be back with you soon. Okay, that's me back now. So my wood is dry, and I've just picked myself out a few paints. I've got my Indigo Blue ones, I've got Cinderella, which is metallic, Kingfisher Blue, which was metallic, and the Banana Custard, which is a matte. Now, I think I mentioned in a previous video, I think it was about my Distress Oxides, that when I buy a new product, and I don't have loads of them, these are the only paints I have from Indigo Blue, that I just buy 3, and they're a version of the primary colours. So I've got my blue, red and yellow basically, and from that I can make all other colours. Now I do also tend to go for a pink and a kind of almost like a teal and a yellow, but if you think about your printer that prints lots of different colours, you tend to have magenta, cyan and yellow, and that's why I tend to go like that. You tend to get a brighter, truer colour than going for a strong red, blue and yellow, but that's just my preference. But maybe you'll see today a little bit how the colours will mix, and I'll get other colours from it. If not, I could maybe do a video on that at some point. I've also got from Stamperia this sheet of rice paper, which I'm hoping to put on it at some point. So I'm wanting the colours to kind of blend with that, so I'll be going with the teals and greens and the pinks. So I don't really know what I'm doing, so I'm just gonna get started. I'll probably start with my yellow, because that's the palest one. I also am thinking that I like the text parts of the paper, and I'll probably have them coming down here, and I will probably make a feature of the flowers down in this corner. So I'm going to keep that in mind as I put my colours on. And I wasn't sure if these were going to look too bright on the wood. So far it's not too bad. So I've also got out my Dilutions white, and I've also got a tiny bit of Pebeo metallic in the gold colour. Okay, so that seems to be going not too bad. I'm now going to just grab a bit of the blue, and this is where we'll start to get the greens come in. Now, I've not actually mixed the green. I'm almost like mixing it on the project. So it's a bit like when I do my watercolour. You've seen me do that if you follow my channel. If not, please feel free to watch the other videos. But I tend to mix on the project quite a lot. I think you get a very natural look, and it's very tonal. So there, I've got from my yellows through to my teals again, just by kind of painting it on the project. Now I want to put a bit of paint on here, but I'm also not wanting to really lose the wood too much. Okay, bring that down. Now I've not cleaned my brush in between doing that because I was wanting the greens to mix. I'm going to put a bit of stronger blue here just because we're right in there by that knot. Hopefully that'll help to emphasise it. So I'm just going for a feel. I have a plan sort of in my head, but I just tend to go where the project leads me. The creation always seems to be in control of me rather than the other way around. Now that's gone a bit too stripy there now. I feel like it's gone blue, yellow, blue, so I'm not liking that because it's just too regimented and even. So I will bring a bit of the yellow down. Sorry, I am really bad at not finishing my sentences. Do you know what's terrible? My husband and his family, they will be watching, I do love you to bits. None of them ever finish their sentences. It drives us mad. Well, it drives me and my brother-in-law mad. And they have these funny conversations which are hilarious to listen to. But I'm obviously turning in to one of them. 19 years of marriage will do that to you. As I'm talking to myself, I'm talking to the camera, I've become much more aware that, yeah, I do it too. I only say half a sentence. So, yeah, don't tell my husband that. Because next time I say it to him, he'll be like, you've just admitted to the nation that you do it too. Well, not that the nation are watching. It would be nice if the nation was watching. So, you know, if you're enjoying this banter, do please feel free to like and share and all of that malarkey. My 6-year-old daughter, she loves watching YouTube. She watches it quite a lot. Oh, that's looking lash. I'm liking the metallic effect of that. Yeah, she goes, Mummy, I know how you can get more subscribers. What you need to do is go, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. It's like, okay. I maybe need to learn to ask for it more, but I don't think that's quite in my vocabulary to say it like that. She's also desperate to do a video with me. So I may, at one point, have a mother and daughter crafting with a 6-year-old, crafting with kids or something. Oh, I like that. Taking a little bit of pink up into there. So now to balance that out, I'm going to take a bit over here. That's a bit like the rule of threes. I realised I do that a lot naturally, but there's a whole big complicated thing. I watched an amazing YouTube artist. His name's escaped me just now, I'm sorry. Not that he'll be watching me because I'm a tiny little channel. But he's done a great video on the rule of threes. So I would recommend that. I'll maybe link it in. Now, see, that bit there has just gone a bit too purple for me. I'm not wanting purple too much in this project. I'm wanting the pinks and the yellows. So to create a bit of balance, I'm going to do that now. I'm going to make sure I clean my brush properly because we've lost a little bit of the yellow. I like the green coming in and I like that just tiny touch of blue. I'm going to just bring some more yellow in. So again we get this kind of rule of threes. The paint's moving a little bit, but it's all going to add to it. And this is just the base base layer. I've actually kind of lost that whole wood effect, so the whole thing of me saying I was going to save that, hey ho. That's what I'm saying, the creation takes over. I think I'm going to try and paint bits down here as well. I was thinking I'd put out way too much paint, but actually maybe got it right for once. Now, I do actually want to keep some of the wood, and I'm saying that now and I can't see my wipes to pull it back, so I'm just going to grab a bit of tissue and just dampen it with my water a little bit and just see if I can take some of this paint back a bit, just to try and bring some of that wood back. Okay, I think I'm liking that. Okay, the other thing I thought I might do is with a narrower brush. Doopy doopy doo. Just what you want in life, to hear me singing. I'm just going to put some touches of gold. I like doing this. I like doing canvases with like corrugated card and things like that, and I don't know why, but when I do stuff with like that, I love a touch of gold. I think I like the contrast with the fact that, you know, this is clearly recycled and a broken bit of wood and meant for the rubbish tip, and then all of a sudden there's something like luxurious and gold on it. Just, oh, it appeals to me. So I'm just going to put a few touches of gold. I'll probably put way too much of that paint out, but don't worry, I will put it into a journal. Nothing goes to waste. Put little streaks of gold. Maybe try and emphasise that knot a bit with the gold as well. A golden knot in a tree, it's almost magical, isn't it? A little fairyland. I like that, but it's a bit too obvious now, so I need to blend it out. Oh, see if I can pick up some of this yellow, a bit watered down, just to... Sorry, quiet voice again, just to soften that down. I get into crafting mode and my voice goes all quiet. That's maybe why my husband likes me crafting, eh? Okay, but I think for this stage, that's me sorted. Okay. I'm going to leave that alone. This is just the base layer, so there'll be lots more going on. We now have a psychedelic rainbow piece of wood. Okay, so I'm now going to get my rice paper. Oh, sorry, I forgot to change my chair again. I've got the squeaky chair. Next time that I have to turn the camera off, I will go and change that. Right, I'll put that to the side. So, with rice paper, the best way to cut it is just to use... not cut it. The best way to use it is just to use water. Now, I don't want this as a whole. I'm going to use little bits. I want some of this wording. So I'm just going to tear some of that out. So I'm going to wet it and just tear it out. So you can tell that bit at the top there wasn't quite wet, but once you've done that, you can just really easy just pull it apart. And what it does is you end up with a really fibrous edge like that, and then that will blend into nothing. So you'll be able to layer all of this up, but you'll not see harsh edges. So it will all just become one. It will become part of it. So having an idea of what I want. Let's see, I like this little bit of music as well. I want to preserve that butterfly, I think. I've got a new product called, is it I can never remember. Sospeso. I'd just done a video on it. It's not uploaded yet, but I recorded it literally 10 minutes before I started this. So I want to save that butterfly and make a big embellishment out of that. Okay, so I've got this. I've got the words coming down. Okay, I think I'll now take a big rose for the bottom of it. So let's take these main flowers here. Let's see how we get on with that. I've had these rice papers for ages because they're just so beautiful. I keep buying them, but I haven't done a huge amount of projects with them. I've done a couple of journal pages. They work great in journal pages. Oh, sorry, squeaky chair. I'm just going to, and I need to, I think you might raise my voice. Well, not raise my voice, but not go into quiet mode. I'm just going to tear around this. And we'll see how that's looking. Quite a big piece this, so it'll probably end up needing shortened again. Okay, so I have my flowers there. Okay, I'm liking that. I think do I have it going down the side? Oh, I might do that. Okay. Okay, I'm liking that. I'm liking that so far. So this is transparent. We will see some of what we've put behind. We're not going to lose it all, but we will see some of it. Right, I might need to dry that, so I'm going to dry that, change my chair, and come back with the next few products for the next little stage. Okay, take care. Okay, so I'm back again. I've changed my chair, and now I'm going to adhere my rice papers. So I've got my Pen Tart decoupage varnish glue, which I clearly need to be replacing. So I tend to find that it's good to put it on the back of your rice paper. I've gone quiet again. On the back of your rice paper, and then also pop it onto your surface that you plan on adhering it to, and then pop that down with that. Now, because the rice paper is so thin and it's transparent, once we do this it will completely blend into the wood, so it will look part of it, and we will still see the texture of the grain of the wood, which was why I was still wanting to, that's why I was wanting to use this product, because I'm hoping that we'll still see the natural beauty of the wood. To me this seems like it would be a nice thing to hang in like a summer house or something like that. I've got a lovely summer house, but it's now been painted pink inside and has these bang on the door characters, stickers stuck everywhere, because it's been decorated by a 6-year-old. But there you go. When she's 20 and leaves home, I will take back possession of the summer house. Okay, so I'm going to carry on doing that. It's a bigger piece, so I probably should have a bigger brush, but I seem to have wrecked enough brushes recently, so. I also, whilst I was off camera, scraped off my paint and stuck it into a journal, so it doesn't go to waste. Okay, definitely going to have to be buying more, because my husband has a whole load of wood in the garden, masses of it, so I can see me doing a few of these. And also I've been a little bit brave, I've gone round some boutique shops in the area and asked if they would consider selling my work, and so far I've had quite a positive response. So I'm also thinking that I still want to see the knot, I'm also thinking that something like this would be a little bit different I may have to work out how to seal it properly, but we'll see how we go. Now the paper's wrinkling up a little bit. I don't mind that. I think it all adds to the texture, and we've already got all that grainy texture from the wood. Also going to wrap it round the side here so that it becomes part of the project, so you don't have a stark edge. Okay, I'm just going to tear around all of this. And seal it down. Quite liking the look of it. It's a lot brighter than I was expecting it to be in my head. I was expecting this really soft, pretty thing, but it's a bit brighter. I do like a bright palette though, so it's not really a huge surprise that it's ended up like that. I'll just tuck that round in the back there just to adhere that. Okay. I think I still want a little bit more, so let's see. I'll take some of the darker green off. So it doesn't matter that I'm ripping into the flower and it's not going to be distinguishable, because it all layers layer on top of each other, and it'll all become one. Okay. Sorry, I'm going quiet again. I'm concentrating. Okay. Okay, I'm getting there. So I feel I want a bit more text up here, and then maybe a little bit down here, just to tie it all together. So I'm going to bring back my sheet of paper and see what I've got. Okay. Actually, I quite like those words. I might just get the bell out, because that means beauty, doesn't it? So I quite like that. Oh, I need the water. Okay, so we'll try taking that out. Oops. Not got it quite wet enough. I'm trying to also angle my hand so that you can see what I'm doing. Got a stubborn bit of thread there that's not wanting to play ball. Okay, I thought I'd get it nice and wet and get this moving. There we go. And even though I'm just going to take it off there as well, because again, not having a straight edge makes such a difference into blending it into the project, so that it all becomes one. Okay, so we've got that. Got a bit of pink music notes over here, so maybe take a piece of that. Writing here, because I think we had some of the black writing go into the last little bit, so I'll take some of that. I keep all these bits. All of these bits will go in something. Some bits that are really scrappy like that, as soon as I have finished doing my project, will go straight into a journal so that they don't get lost. And the bigger bits I'll kind of put in an envelope and save for another project. I do literally try and use everything. I don't throw anything away. Okay. see how we go with this. Okay, right, so, yep, I think I'll put that there. And as I said, this is where we start to see the joy of the rice paper. I'm not going to lose that flower, it's just going to become part of the background. Actually, I'm going to have the words upside down because that curves slightly. I'd quite like it to curve off the page. And who says writing has to be the right way up? Okay. And I think I'll put some of this music notes in there as well. And what that's doing, it's kind of tying the words that we've got down there through the whole piece, so it doesn't look disjointed as to why is there random words down there. Okay, I do kind of want to put, oh yeah, I think I'll do it upright like that. I like that. Okay. And that's quite nice because that writing's up right there as well. And then so maybe I should put a bit of that over here. Okay. I'm definitely going to have to buy some more of this. That's what I'll be doing this lunchtime. Popping downstairs and ordering some more of this medium because I want to be doing lots of these, and I don't think the mediums that I have will be keeping up. Okay. Well, this is so not what I had in my head, but I'm liking it. This is what I mean about with me. It's the project takes control. I have an idea in my head and it all goes to pot. And if I have to stick to something, if I have to stick to a regimented thing, I'm not very good. I'm not very good with these sketches. You know, people do sketches for card making and stuff like that. I find as soon as I have something I have to do, I can't do it anymore. I need to just tear it, because that's looking very square to me now, which I don't like. I think it needs to look more natural, so I'm just going to put another piece in there, so that the break isn't quite so square. Okay. And making sure that I'm sealing it all really well. Don't want to hide my... Do I want any more? Yeah, maybe just a tiny bit, just over there. I mean, just a really tiny little bit. Just to give it continuity, maybe up the top. So this video may be a long one, but it's not pre-prepped, so you'll see what my creative process normally ends up looking like. Yeah, and then a little bit down here. I'm wanting the wording all to sort of tie in. Okay. Now I'm loving this, I'm loving the bright colours, but now part of me wants to do another one where I maybe just put the rice paper straight onto the wood. But that's what will give each and everything that I make a nice unique look, because I'll try different techniques. Okay, I think I'm happy with that now. So I'm going to let that dry, because obviously that's very sticky stuff. And then I plan on coming back and adding a little bit of stencil work, again just for more texture, and I think we'll almost be done. Okay, so I will see you again once this is all if I can speak, I'll see you again once it's all dry. Hello, that's me back, and this is all nicely dry now. It should be, because it's now a day later. And my daughter's got a cold, so I didn't get to get up here during the day. So now that she's safely sleeping, I'm back, and I've obviously just picked up a dirty brush. So what I want to do now is a little bit of dry gessoing, just to try and knock that back. The colour's quite bright, and also I've kind of lost the texture of the wood. You can't see that anymore. So just by getting your brush nice and dry with a tiny bit of gesso on it, we should be able to kind of get some of that detail back, and we'll just knock back the colour a little bit. So I'm just going to do a bit of that. I'm trying not to go on too heavy handed. I quite often do that, not being a patient crafter, that I quite often, you know, get a bit bored and then just go for it and wish I hadn't. So to actually try and make it look like I know what I'm doing, which sometimes I do, most times I just wing it. I'm just going to go canny. It's a Scottish phrase, that, go canny. I'm just going to take it nice and slow and just try and knock that colour back a bit. Gesso is my solution to everything in life. When I make cards or whatever I make, if it suddenly starts to go wrong and I fall out with it, slap a load of gesso on it and then do something else. And what you've done isn't wasted, because that's all there as a layer of the background. It just looks like, you know, you've deliberately spent a long time adding all these layers for interest. So as you can see, like the creases of the rice paper are coming out a little bit now, or at least I hope you can see that. And I'm getting a little bit of the texture of the wood back as well. I'm hoping to get a bit more of that a bit later when I attack it with a little bit of gilding wax. Because as I said, I quite like the contrast of what should have been scrap with gold. For example, that's something that I've done before now, and it's like, as I say, it's corrugated card, but then I've ended up putting gold details on it for some reason. I just always find the irony of you know, what should be scrap and rubbish ending up being really blinged up. I like the irony of it, and yeah, so I quite often like to do that, and I'm planning on doing that as well, adding a little bit of gold gilding wax. So I've just knocked that back a little bit. I'm not doing it too much at this stage because I'm not finished yet, but now I want to go on to adding a little bit more texture with some stencils. So I'm going to use my Indigo Blu thick slap on. It's pretty much just like a heavy bodied gel medium, but it's the one I have, so I'll stick with that. Now I'm going to put a couple of blobs here on my mat, and then I also have some of the Indigo Blu Luscious pigment powders. So I thought these colours went quite well. That's me got, let me see, Lawn and Buttercup. So again, that's kind of like, well, almost like my teal and yellows, so I should get a nice kind of contrast. So what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of the one colour. You get nice big pots of the Luscious powders, which is why I quite like them. I do like, what's the, is it Lindy Stamp Gang Magicals? I do like theirs, but it's quite teeny tiny pots, and then I get a bit, I'm not overly generous then when I put it on. So I'm going to mix that. Now what I have come to learn is that I think I have the colour just right, so I really like it, but because that slap it on dries clear, it's always a bit brighter and shinier than I think it's going to be. So because of that, and because I want it to be a bit paler, I'm just also going to add some of this white into it, which will put the white back in. I am actually being quite heavy-handed with this, you don't normally need this much. And this is porcelain, which they sell in really big tubs, because they know people use it a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'll mix my yellow one first, because that's the paler colour. I'm just going to mix that, it's spraying the pigment powder everywhere, mix that pigment powder into the gel medium, or slap it on as it's called here. But as I said, it's pretty much just a gel medium. It would work with any gel medium. I've just bought myself another one because I've decided that, considering I like mixed media so much, my supplies were fairly limited. Well, that's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. Quite frankly, it's just that I like to buy anything craft related. Hands up who who thinks spending money on craft is just as much part of the hobby as actually crafting itself. I do like to make what I have work, but I also do like to spend quite a lot of time in a craft shop. Although I'm a bit gutted because my favourite craft shop has just closed down. I didn't get to go to it very often anyway, to be honest. It was more of a holiday treat, but that was my holiday treat, walking around this lovely big craft store. Now there only seems to be chain ones left, but there we go. Right, what I want to try and do is I want to put a bit more texture here, and I have no idea how this is going to work because I'm going onto a rough surface, you know, but we will see what happens. So I'm going to take a little bit of the yellow and a little bit of the green, and I'm just going to pull that across there. And hopefully we should get some nice multicoloured little things there. It's not quite how I expected it to turn out, but hey ho, that's fine. And I think I'll do a little bit here as well. Sorry, ability to think just completely went away there for a second. Right, and I'll put that up there. As I said, I don't mind that the colours are mixing. I chose ones that would mix well together, and that's what's going to give it that natural, variegated look. Okay. Just a little bit more, it's looking a bit too square. I want it to look a bit more, and this is going to be tricky. Ah dear. This was when you think, well Julia, that was a clever idea. Concentrating now, gone quiet. And there we go. Yeah, that's not too bad. Okay, I've also got this little rose stencil. I'm not sure if I want that. Right, no, I think I'll just leave that as it is. Now, I always say that I never waste anything, that I stick it in my journal. So I'll just put that down. This is my original journal. I have to say I'm not in love with this one anymore, but it will do for scraping some paint off. So yeah. That one, so far, I've got spray gesso, and I was spraying, I think it was some paint brushes. So I've just got random bits of that left. So I will literally just take what I've got and just stick it in my journal, and at some point in time I will come back to it and turn this into a page. Okay. So there we go, that's me just added that into my spare journal. And then the other thing that I would do, I can't find a baby right just now, don't have one to hand, but what we'll do is I'll just take a, thrown that across my craft room, can you tell? I'll just take a thing and spray it, and then I kind of clean my clean my stencil as well, and that will give it just a slightly different effect. And I love this because you're not thinking about it. I'm not trying to make it pretty, and then you just end up with some random background. But But sometimes if you want to do some quick journaling, the fact that you've got lots of interest and bits and pieces already lying down on a page, it's useful. So yeah, that's how I would clean my stencils. But right now I've now got to wait. No, I was going to do something else. I tell a lie. I'm so sorry. Oh dear. Crafting in the evening and my brain has stopped working. Right, now I'm going to take another little paintbrush. Trying to find one that's not, I'm not overly in love with, so that if I mess it up, if I forget to wash it, it'll not matter too much. I'm just going to spray those stencils, because as I say, I do work in the loft, and so a sink is downstairs, but at least if I'm only going to be a couple of minutes, but at least if I've covered it with water, it should survive. So I'm just going to take a bit of this, slap it on and stick it into, I've got some micro beads here, and I was just thinking that I might try and catch some of these micro beads into some of the ridges here, again just to add that little bit of texture. So I'm just sticking my brush into the gel medium and then pop it into the micro beads. I just thought I'd actually quite like to get some little stones and do a beachy one of these. I think that would look really cool, like a lighthouse or something. And I'm just going to take those beads into, that was a really silly idea. I contaminated that. Put that there. And we'll see what happens with that. So it will dry clear, so you will just be left with these little glass beads kind of running down the grooves of the wood. Let me put some up there. Okay. Okay, so once again, I'm just going to spread, sorry, I keep seeing things, I'm not particularly loving the way the shapes of all of that have gone, so I'm actually just going to brush it out. Brush out some of it so I don't have those sort of funny lumpy bits. Okay, so now, now I'm going to leave it to dry. And I'll be back again at some point, probably sometime tomorrow, because this will take overnight to dry. So, I will see you tomorrow. Well, it'll hopefully just be 2 seconds for you watching, but in my world, I'll see you tomorrow. So see you later. Hello, so that's me back, and hopefully we're on the last few finishing stages. So my gel medium stuff there has dried overnight, so that's looking good. And you can also, can you see there's micro beads just in there. That looks really cool. Well, I like it anyway. Suppose that's something. Make art for yourself, not for anyone else. I like it. So again, I'm going to try and bring out some of the detail of all this texture by doing a little bit of dry brushing with the gesso. I don't want to do too much because it's got a lovely sheen on it, but it's just to bring out some of that texture so that we can see it. Sometimes it's so busy that you can't quite see it. I'm going to wipe some of that off because I've lost the sheen. Okay, so that's me done that. Quick and easy. It's a little touch, so you might wonder why bother, but to me it makes a slight difference. Okay, and then I've got some gilding wax. And I'm just going to, I have to be careful because this is wood, and rough wood at that, so I'm going to have to be careful here not to give myself a splinter. I'm just going to try and again emphasise some of the texture by rubbing gold gilding wax onto some of it. Actually, that's really brought that out quite nice. Try not to get this all stuck in my nails. having nails when you're crafting sometimes is a good thing. It helps when you know if you're taking the back off your double-sided tape and stuff like that, but then when you get in your fingers in your paint it's not quite so helpful. I'm actually also going to go over that textured stuff as well with that, because it's just picking up the edges of where that stencil was, which is just defining that. So I want a little bit, but I'm going to try not to go overboard. And this is all quite rough down here, so I really want that looking really gold. I think I've said it a few times, so you're probably sick of me, but I like the contrast of what should look like rubbish being really blinged up. I like the contrariness of it. Don't know what that says about my personality. I'll leave that one up to you. I could tell you what my father would say. Contrary Mary, I think, came out quite a few times whilst I was growing up. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit onto the edges there. I said I'm trying my best not to go too OTT. I think that looks, well, I'm liking it, I have to say. For a project that was in my head, it's actually turning out, well, not as it was in my head, but it's actually still turning out nice, which is good. Sometimes when you've got this great idea in your head, when you actually go to try it, it doesn't work. At least that happens to me. But actually, I'm quite pleased with this one. I'm just going to emphasise the definite ridges from the fact that that wood's been snapped. Because I think that just, again, it's going to add to the texture of that a little bit. Okay, I think that's me done. And as always with gilding waxes, it's best just to give it a little buff. That really does bring out the shine. It looks good when you first put it on, it looks even better once you buff it. Probably going to lose a few of my micro beads here, but that's fine. It's a polishing the silver, isn't it? Oh dear, right. Got loads of micro bead there. Right, and so finally I have made some flowers using rice paper and this Sospeso Transparente. I've just done a tutorial on that as well, so feel free to find that. I will do my best to kind of link it. I'm not sure if I'd call it a tutorial or me just playing. But if you want to watch me play and learn whilst I was doing that, feel free. Learn from my mistakes. What was that? A wise person learns from their mistakes and a wiser person learns from somebody else's. So yeah, if you want to learn from my mistakes, feel free to watch the tutorial linked and put that there. So I think I'm going to go with something like that. I love this product. It's brand new to me. I've literally just got it last week. I had my first play with it the other day when I was recording. But I can see so many uses for it. So many uses. So I think it will be something that will become one of these must-haves in my stash. Now I've got the gel medium again because I want this to stick forever. And gel medium tends to do that. It tends to be a stronger adhesion. So I know you've got your hot glue guns. I don't have one of those. Well, my husband does in his shed. I keep thinking of going down and nicking it. But then I'm also not sure if me and a hot glue gun would really get along. Not sure how many accidents or incidents that could result in. So at the minute I tend to stick with my pin flare or gel medium. So I'm going for gel medium for this because it will dry nice and transparent, and considering that these flowers are transparent, I think that works really well. I'm not sure where to put that one just yet. I'll have a fiddle once it's all done. And I also love the fact I've done this on the transparent Sospeso. One day I'll learn how to say that properly. And because it is transparent, you can kind of see through the flowers and the butterfly onto the wood. So again, it's just that building up of layers. I think it looks great, even if I say so myself. Are you supposed to be so in love with your own work, or is that big-headed? Or is it taking pride in what you do? Who knows? Who knows? There's probably a number of schools of thought. And in my day job I probably have to deal with both of those schools of thought, so I'm not going to get into a discussion on it here, because here's just where I play and be myself and not worry. Okay, I'm liking that. Do I want this? Yeah, I might put one just at the bottom there. And I'm just going to put that there. So yeah, I'm really pleased with the way that turned out. So I think all the spare wood that I've been nagging my husband to get rid of is now going to be squirreled away in my attic. I can see me making quite a few of these in the future. So yes, this literally was a piece of wood rotting away in my garden, and I have blended it up. I'm just going to... I was going to try and be fancy and do something with the camera, but I don't think I can. So that's it there. Yeah, and I like it a lot. So I hope you did too. And I hope you'll experiment with some mixed media too. So take care for now, and I'll be back soon with another video. Bye now. Bye.